Welcome back to the Past Alive. In this video, we're heading out to Ohio to check out the Four Seasons flea market in Youngstown and also stop by some antique malls. Some pretty nasty clouds, but didn't stop me from finding cards and also other collectibles. I walked around for a little bit there, made my way to Ravenna, Ohio to the I-76 Antique Mall. Huge place that I've showed before on film. And of course, no surprise, I found an ashtray full of nothing but Chris Sabo, as well as some cards that were literally taped together. I think these were like $4 or $5 for this brick of taped cards. I don't know who thought that was a good idea to do that, but they had multiple bricks there for sale if any of you are interested. And I walked around some more and found some junk wax era packs. These were $5 a piece. So I haven't done a weekend recap series in quite a while, and I've accumulated a decent amount of random things from my travels over the last several weeks or even months, and I'm going to share those all with you now. We have some baseball cards, vintage toys, even some random novelty stuff. I don't even know if it's all here, honestly, because it's been such a long time. But we'll start out just grabbing stuff at random that I've gotten recently. This is one of the first things I picked up. It's probably about a month and a half, even 2 months ago. That's how long it's been since I've done a weekend recap, but it's a 1964 Topps Giants Roberto Clemente, or Bob, and I picked this up from my Clemente Vintage PC, and it was only $10 at a somewhat local flea market, and I wasn't going to pass on that. That was a very good price. Condition is not mint. There are no creases, though. There's a little bit of blemish there and also there, but I didn't really mind that. For $10, couldn't pass on something to add to my vintage Clemente PC. Another random thing I picked up, I think this was a while back at Rogers, in like a 25-cent bin, or maybe 50 cents. But back in 1989, I definitely remember my brother having this handheld game for TMNT, made by Konami, and it still works. Believe it or not, these games are super hard to play, and even this day, I'm still awful at them. I had said before that I was going to maybe start a series doing old Tiger handheld games. I don't even know what you're supposed to do or how you even play this. It's so ridiculously hard. But yeah, I figured for a quarter, I'm not going to pass on that, especially since I wanted one when I was younger and never got it. Grab that, and also some random singles I picked up. How about a 77 Topps Brooks Robinson miscut? I've been collecting miscut cards like inadvertently. Never really set out to collect them, but I had people send me some a while back, and then it kind of went from there. And I have a bunch as well, so now I kind of collect them accidentally. But I thought of Brooks. I think that was like a quarter or two. Definitely a pretty bad miscut at that from 77. This is a pickup from probably about a weekend ago or so, I think out in the Altoona area. But Ellie De La Cruz first Bowman, I didn't have one for some reason, and I feel like I need to. I think I got that for $10. So can't get wrong with picking up Ellie's stuff. And I think this was in a dollar box somewhere along the lines. But the Big Hurt, they made so many of these back in the 90s. And by they, I honestly have no idea. Different companies made these foily, sparkly cards that grabbed our attention, and I never really saw them too much back in the 90s, but a lot of them were they were exclusive and limited edition, one of 10,000. So 10,000 back when this card was printed, 94, 95, relatively low number. We have Thomas and Griffey together. I thought that was a pretty sweet card. I just grabbed it just for the hell of it because I thought it was pretty cool. And this is one I picked up. I think this is in a dollar box over the weekend from the Youngstown flea market that you saw earlier in the video. But I hope he gets in the Hall of Fame. I feel like he deserves in the Hall of Fame. Billy Wagner, signature rookies. This one is numbered out of 8150. So this is from the mid-90s, from 1994. But I figured for $1, for a nice on-card signature, wasn't going to pass that up. Billy Wagner's signatures aren't really super expensive anyways. I found an 8x10 of him a while back for $1 somewhere. I bought it and put it in a frame. So few card pickups there, and then this is probably about, I don't know, a few weeks back, I came across this beauty, which some of you might know what this is, most of you probably don't, but made by Mattel in 1988. This is from the Food Fighters toy line. This is one of the vehicles out of the 3 vehicles they made. This is the combat carton. It's actually pretty valuable these days. I have one in the box, still sealed. I've seen them go for $400 recently. I think I paid about a fourth of that for mine. But for this, I paid $10 at a flea market. And I was not going to pass on it. You know, it's kind of an impulse buy. I'm like, I never see Food Fighters stuff in the wild. It's very hard to track down. It is valuable. And I was like, just because I'm coming across it, I can't not buy it, especially for $10. When these have sold for as high as like $75 recently, incomplete. This one is not complete, but this, you know, it has a little bit of dirt on it and such. But I'll probably clean it up. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to keep it or what I'll do with it, but couldn't pass on it for Food Fighters. One of my favorite toy lines. The next pickup, an oddball one from one of my favorite shows ever, and I've been binging it for quite a few years now. This is Larry Thomas autograph, or you may know him as the Soup Nazi.
No soup for you!
From Seinfeld. This was at an antique mall about 2 hours away in Ravenna, Ohio. You see $20 price tag on there. There's no COA with it, but I didn't really care. I don't think anyone is out there forging Larry Thomas autographs, but that was pretty great. I couldn't not buy it. So I had to grab that. I'll buy a frame for it. One pickup I had as far as toys go also was the Last Action Hero Dynamite Jack Slater. I actually had this as a kid, and I used to play with it a decent amount. And The Last Action Hero, I feel like it's a very underrated movie. Kind of cheesy and corny.
How exactly are you gonna snap your fingers after rip off both of your thumbs?
Back when this movie came out in the early 90s, I thought it was sick. And I used to watch it a lot. These were made by Mattel in 1993. Back then I hadn't seen all of Arnold's films, so I was like, this movie's freaking awesome. I don't even know if I had seen Terminator by then. I was 9 years old. And I thought it was such a sweet plot, a very cool movie. And these figures are pretty cheap. $10 for one of these is a decent deal. I feel like if you would go online, you'd probably pay about $25 for one of these. $20-$25 with shipping. So I grabbed it. I have, I think, 2 of these other figures on a card, and it's cool for one that I had when I was a kid too. So I like the nostalgia of it. I like the 40% price tag on it, back from the 90s, and it's in nice condition. So I may continue to pick these up as I see them for good prices. A convertible actually is decently valued nowadays. I do have the Ripper, and I also have Benedict, the villain, the glass eye. So grab that for $10. And that was really it for my pickups. I'm sure if I find anything else, I will be showing it to you guys in the upcoming weekend recap. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to get back in the swing of things of making these regularly. So please drop me a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite pickup was. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love to hear from you guys. And I will see you all back tomorrow night for a live sports card sale. Have a great night, guys. Thank you all for watching.